Alright, what's going on? Today we are going to be exploring Sub-Zero, showing some things he can do with Janet. Sub-Zero actually got a lot better when Janet came out. He can combo off of a lot more strings, he gets much more damage, and you're going to be averaging around 45% per combo, if you can get the whole combo with two cameo calls. So his basic setups, his B&Bs, are this low because it launches, and this overhead because it launches. You're going to be doing 50-50s basically the entire time. You're never going to not be doing 50-50s. You can do this one into the slide, but it will give you significantly less damage than if you did the combo raw. And then also you can amplify this into a combo, but again, it's going to give you less damage. So you see there we got about 38%, and that was with the forward 2-1 into the freeze. But if you were to just go with the overhead directly, ooh, bad, try again. Alright, turbo. There we go. Yeah, as you can see, if you go directly into the overhead, you can get significantly more damage than if you did the standing 1-2, or the forward 1-2 into the freeze. The reason the forward 1-2 into the freeze is good because it gives you time to confirm your hit and think about what combo you want to do. If you want to do the overhead or the low, whichever one. But both of them can combo pretty well off of Janet, and you are going to be getting pretty significant damage off of it. So it's not bad, it's just suboptimal to be going for the high. It does have quite a bit of reach to it. It has like significantly more reach than you might imagine. It's pretty good. It hits fairly far away. I like to say I'm giving them an ice hot dog. Take it. Take the dog. Other than that, some of the text that Sub-Zero has for the neutral, or if you are just playing out, his clone is nice. You can call Janet out and then kind of poke out with the freeze, which is nice. And then if you do the amplified slide, kind of like with Sonya, you can get a combo off of it. Now, there are a couple different things you can do off of it. The thing that I found to be like the most useful is to just go to like a standard Janet combo, like this. And it's not going to do a ton. It's going to cost 2 bars, and it's going to do about 27%. But it's better than, just doing the amplified slide and then not getting anything. Because normally you can't really get anything off the slide. It's not a combo starter, but with Janet, it is. Some of the other things you can do, you can get a freeze off the slide if it helps with the timing, because it can be pretty tight. So you can just freeze, take a minute, think about what you want to do, and then do your attack. You can also combo into the slide, but similar to the other one, it's like it doesn't do enough damage to justify it. Like, if you're going to be doing this, you might as well be doing the other combo, because like if you're going to be doing the forward 2 into the freeze, you're going to get more damage. You're going to be getting more damage that way than if you did the slide, because if you did the slide, you're probably not going to be close enough to the corner to get the corner combo, which is where Sub-Zero does his best. As for getting to the corner, the best thing to do is you really want to be aggressive with Sub-Zero. He does have a lot of defensive skills, like the ice clone and the slide and this little punch that cancels projectiles. So he has a lot of defensive options, and you can use those to apply a lot more pressure with your attacks. So for instance, if you come in with this and you it's on a block and it doesn't hit, let me show you. Block mode. Alright. If you ever end up in a situation where you're trying to outpoke your opponent, you can always go into the ice clone, and they're forced to spend a bar if they want to get through it. They have to spend a bar in order to get through the ice clone. Otherwise, they just have to wait for it to go away. And while it's up, you can use it as a bit of a cover for your overhead. it does put a decent amount of space between you and the opponent, and if they touch it, they will freeze. So overall, the Ice Clone is very, very good defensively, and it can also be used offensively, allowing you to poke more, and if you are quick enough, you can get the confirms, you can get your combos going, and if you recognize that they block, you can now go into the Ice Clone instead. This one, I'm it. You can go in the Ice Clone instead, letting you safely do your moves and then continue your pressure. The Ice Clone can be amplified, and there's several ways to amplify it. If you hold the button down, you'll get 3 Ice Clones. If you just tap it, you'll get the 1. And the cool thing about these Ice Clones, if you amplify, they don't go away as fast, and you can attack while they're out. Which is really good. It stays there for quite a long time, and you can kind of position it like that, and then, you know, get like a combo into it. So if you get an Ice Clone above somebody, oh god, that was a terrible one. Oh, oop. There we go. That's hard. But yeah, just know you can get combos into the Ice Clone. Like, it's possible. It's not really there for that. It's mostly there to absorb a projectile or combo off in the corner and then catch jump-ins. The Ice Clone is amazing at catching jump-ins. So let's just go... We'll do a recording real quick. So, that was terrible. Ugh. So this is pretty standard jump-in. Now you can just catch them with the standing one, but much funner option. Hit them with the Ice Clone, pop them up. Oop. Yeah, and this is something you do have to be careful with. The Ice Clone can interrupt them while they're in the air, but they can also interrupt you when you're popping out of the Ice Clone. So if you're going to do it, you have to make sure you do it early, like that. As for air-to-airs, it's not that complicated. There are more optimal ways to do this, but this is totally fine. You just go for the triple tap, 1, 2, and then do that. You really don't have to worry about the air-to-airs too much, because he already has like a pretty decent loop with the air-to-air. You know? So there's no need to try to combo off on it. Other than that, dummy. Other than that, the big change with Janet is you can now get combos off your non-amplified slide as well as your amplified slide. So what I mean is you can do this into another slide. You can do the slide, 2-hit, do another slide, 2-hit, do another slide. And that's pretty good because it's basically a full screen combo that'll yield about 30% if you do it right. Yeah, 29.2, whatever. But it's really good, you know, being able to get 30% full screen off a low. You know, that's pretty solid. So those are some of the options. So I'm gonna show you some of the big combos here. The biggest combos that he's got will come off of this low, and that will look like this. You're gonna call Janet, get the overhead, get a hit in the air, get 1 kick, and then you're gonna have to get 2 Janets there. Getting the double Janet's kind of hard. You can time it or you can mash it out. Either one works. There's other combos here, so I don't know why I'm doing it. And you can save the other Janet. There's no reason to use more than 1 bar and 1 cameo if you catch the overhead. Because, as you've seen there, we got 46%. Now, if you use 2 bars, you can get 47%. If you call out Janet a second time, you can get close to 48, 49. But it's just not worth it, because you're expending double the resources to get essentially 3% more damage. Let me try this slow combo one more time. And then all of this combo is kind of boiled down to the same thing in the corner. You're going to get them into some kind of mix-up combo. Yep, if I can do it. There we go. You're going to get them in some kind of mix-up combo And then from there, once you get them in the corner with the slide, you're going to double amplify Janet, get the air-to-air, pop them with the ice clone, and then do a raw overhead or do the kick into the ice dive or anything else. As for what else you can do with the Janet, let's see. You can kind of get Janet out if you don't want to go to the corner for whatever reason. After this triple overhead combo here, you can get 2 hits with Janet into an ice ball. Or into an ice ball. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, ice ball. And then you can do whatever you want after that. I don't really do that one because I don't think it's worth it. I think the triple overhead into the standing 3 into the ice slide is significantly better because it does yield a lot of damage. It is kind of hard, so an alternative combo is you do the double, right? You do the double overhead, and this is pretty standard. You double overhead, do the bounce, you do the standing 3, you catch them with the Janet, and then you do your normal corner combo. I think you can get 2 off of this. Yeah, you can. You can get 2 off of it, but the reason I don't do it this way is because the gravity is different and the damage scaling is worse. So, see there, we got 42%, but if we do our triple, if I can do it, see, even there, even without doing the ice clone, we got 45%. So it's just simply not worth it to do it the other way. It's easier, you know, it's much easier. So if you're just starting out with Subzero, I would recommend it because, you know, the key is to land the combo. And if you can't land the combo, then you really shouldn't be doing it. And there are so many other Subzero combos that are like relatively close in terms of damage that it's reasonable to not have to want to like do that. Now off of this freeze here with the forward, what is it, down forward 3? 1, 2, down forward 3, amplified. You can do any of your combos and it doesn't affect the gravity at all. So remember that this might look like it's giving you more damage, but it's actually going to nerf the amount of damage that you do. So just keep that in mind if you end up doing this and it's like a time thing or you're in a situation where you need the damage, you're not going to get the same damage. You're going to get significantly less. That being said, it's still pretty high damage. Yeah, so it's 38% there. You could probably get more if you called in Janet a second time, did a standing 3 into the ice slide, but that would probably yield about 40, and that's significantly more inconsistent, so it's not worth it. As far as grabs go, you can't get anything off the grab. You can call Janet out on the ice clone, and then you can get a pretty cool setup if they're not paying attention, where you can get Janet to hit them once before they block, and then you'll get a second ice hit. I gotta turn the practice dummy off of auto to show you what that looks like. So, you hit them with the ice, call out Janet. Janet's gonna hit them a second time, and then you'll get a second ice out. Now, it's not perfect. They can block in between, but it's worth trying if you want to give it a shot. It's kind of cheeky, a little bit scummy. And then Janet does have really good corner combos with Subzero, but if I'm being 100% honest, they do not do significantly enough damage to make them worth it. The amount of time investment it would take to learn it, it's not reasonable. Other than that, like having Janet, you're not really going to call her out as a summon like this, because it's just not worth it. She uses way too much bar while she's out. This shield is super, super nice, like I said. You can use it to put Janet in front of you, safely go for your overhead. That's what I would do. You can put it out, get your overhead, and then leave Janet out. It does confuse people. Like, as soon as they see Janet, they no longer know what a 50-50 is, and they just give up on blocking. So it's a great, great way to do this. And if you do choose to do this, if you catch them, good news, you still have Janet. Right? So Janet actually recovers pretty fast from that. So if you call her out, get her going, I suck. But you know what I mean. You can see what I'm saying. Like, she provides you with a decent amount of protection from projectiles. I think the only real projectile you gotta be worried about is, like, the amplified Lime projectile, because the explosion on it goes past the invisible wall for Janet, which is, like, kind of frustrating, but there's really nothing you can do. As far as, like, Fatal Blow combos go for Sub-Zero, you really don't have that much of an option. Like, you can do it, but it's not going to yield you any significant amount of damage. Like, I feel like Sub-Zero is like hard capped or soft capped at about 50%. Because if you do your normal combo, normally you do the Fatal Blow about here. And if I remember right, this is going to be like 47 or something like that. 48. And then this one yields a little bit more damage because it's less hits and the scaling's better. It is harder to land this one, but it will give you more damage. So this one should come out to be about 49.50. Yep, 50. So that's your 50% Sub-Zero combo. Other than that, like, his Fatal Blow is super nice. You can combo it off of basically anything. The only issue is it doesn't do much. So, like, even if you were to do, like, a full combo, let me show you real quick. You do the full combo into the Fatal Blow. Like that. So that's how you do the full combo into the Fatal Blow. But as you'll see, the scaling's so ridiculous on this guy that it will actually do less than if you did the shorter version. Yeah. So don't do the Fatal Blow at the end of your combos unless absolutely necessary to get that last bit of damage. It's just, you're much better off either using it raw or doing it off of basically anything. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, a down 2 into Janet, into, like, standing 1-2. I'm pretty sure this will do more than that last combo. Oh no, this is going to do significantly less? Yeah. Yeah, his Fatal Blow just doesn't do a lot, to be honest. 47. So that's the 47%er. You can spin 2 bars in the corner with his combos, especially off the low one because the gravity's a little bit better. If you do the overhead, the gravity is a bit too high, and you can usually only get 1. You can get 2, but it's rather inconsistent. And you still get about 45%, and you have an extra bar, so the overhead's actually better to land. The reason it's better is obviously because it's super punishable. But if you do land the overhead, you're going to get a little bit more damage, and you're going to be able to save one of your Janet cameos because you don't need her at the beginning to start the combo. You need her for the low, you need her for this one, the 1, 2, 3. And this combo basically looks exactly the same as the other one, where you're going to do the 1, 2, 3, bam, and then you're going to... Oop, I don't know how we got so far. Something like that. That's, I don't know. You might be able to get the air-to-air on it. You're probably just going to have to get the timing on Janet, I think. Like, she's probably going to have to hit really late in the combo to get it, because he needs to be pretty high. Yeah. So off of this one, you might be able to get a little bit more, but I would do the back 2, the standing 3. Gravity's going to be fine. You get about 46% on that one as well. Yeah. If you do it this way, the timing's actually not that bad. Yeah, about 45. Not bad, not bad. So yeah, he's got like quite a lot. Basically every one of his strings can give you about 40%, except for his this one, whatever this is. This is a combo thing. He's also got this standing one where it's the forward 1-2 or forward 1-3, whatever that is. You can do this one also. It's effectively the exact same as that one, except slightly more damage. This one hits for 50, then 65. This one hits for 50, then 65. Okay, they're the same damage. I was lying. And yeah, that's basically everything that Subzero has. He's not that bad. He does have like a couple of mix-ups. Like you do have this, which ends in an overhead. You have this, which ends in a low, right? And then I think it's, who's the other one? Is it 1, 2, 2? Okay, 1, 2, 1. Yeah, there it is. 2. I got 1, 2. Okay. 1, 2, 2. Got it. Yeah. So this one, 1, 2, 2. This ends in an overhead also, and you can cancel that second hit into the slide. So if you cancel the second hit into the slide, double tap the Janet, get her to come back out, double tap again, and you're basically in the corner. So yeah, I think Sub-Zero's in a pretty good spot right now. Like overall, his character has like a pretty decent balance. He's not crazy. He's not putting out like 60%, but he is getting a significant amount of damage for like relatively free off of his normal D&D combos, all thanks to Judo. You can combo off this air slide. I just suck at it. So if you do the air slide, you can get the standing 1-2 into the freeze, into a triple overhead, into the kick, into the Janet, and then into the rest of your combos. And yeah, that's basically it for Sub-Zero. Like, this air slide isn't as good as it looks, so you really got to be careful. It's punishable on whiff and on block, depending on the character. Let me go check the exact datas on it. Yeah, so it's minus 16, so it's punishable. Amplified is also punishable. Deadly Vapors is also punishable, but this generally, with the Deadly Vapors, you really do not want to be doing it unless you are able to hit confirm it. It is good if you're standing off in the distance. You can pop it to like put pressure on them and make them jump, which is great for Janet, right? So if we go, I know I said I was going to end the video, but we're going to keep going. If we go over here, we go to this jump. Most people are going to do this once you start doing this. The second you start trying to freeze them, they're going to start jumping, right? So what you need to do when they start jumping is call out Janet. You can use Janet to start your combo, call her out, and you can get the double amplify on that. You can actually get an ice clone. 1, 2. Alright, let me try that again. I'm stupid. 1, 2. I suck. Oh yeah, there it is. Your punchy punch is super solid at knocking people out of the air. It'll hit them when they don't even feel like they deserve to be hit. It's just like a dad. Alright, it's amazing. Again, Ice Clone, amazing to catch people out of the air, because there's nothing they can really do. Once they're in the air, unless they have some kind of air command that lets them move out of the way, it's going to hit, right? Alternatively, you can just Janet, right? Janet will hit them while they're in the air, and it'll let you get basically any combo you want, which is super nice. Other than that, you can do the Nut Punch as an anti-air if they're trying to jump at full screen like idiots. And it'll catch them as they're coming down. Like, it'll hit before they hit the ground. And then also, if they're coming forward and you want to stop them, you can put up the Janet wall. It's not perfect, they can jump over it, but they have to jump over it, if you know what I mean, right? So once you have the Janet wall up, you know they're going to jump. You just do the Ice Clone, right? There's nothing they can really do about it. Janet's going to come back, and then get the rest of the combo. You know, it's not a ton of damage, but it does put them in an awkward spot where they have to choose to jump over, and then when they choose to jump over, they get punished for it. So it's very good defensive play for Sub-Zero, just like that. And that'll happen so often in your games in the beginning, especially with 2 players who jump a lot, you know? You'll catch them with this Ice Clone all the time. Now, what you saw there is something you can do for a setup. If you end up missing this, kind of like a consolation prize, right? It's gonna catch them like as soon as they wake up. So if they press any buttons, it's gonna hit. Oh yeah, one other thing to note. So if we go back to stand, we're gonna go in the corner. Why are we full screen? Close. So the back two, it has a tendency to whiff in the corner if you spam it, so you really have to be careful. You do not want to be spamming the button in the back two in the corner, because it's going to whiff, it's going to make the combo not land. Just give it a slight delay. It's not as tight as the other combos because you are in the corner, so you just have to give yourself the time to play with it. And as you've seen there, if you are in the corner, you get the triple. So you get the triple back two. If I suck. There we go, we're whipping. Standing 3 into the ice clone. Air to air, low, air to air, low, air to air, get Janet back out, air to air, hit. You get 45%. Instead of doing the 2-1 air to air, you can actually do the 3 into the dive, and it'll do slightly better. It'll be more consistent too. So just like that, do your air combo, like not an idiot. Yep. 1, nice. 1, 2, 3, hit, boom. Yeah. But yeah, Sub-Zero's got some decent combos. He's pretty strong. His buttons are pretty simple. He doesn't have too much complexity to him, to be honest. But he has very, very solid defense. He's got decent neutral. His standing pokes here, his pokes are pretty long-reaching and advancing, so he has some advancing moves. His low isn't advancing, it's advancing low. He's got this, which catches people during like time control. If they're super low, you might catch them with the low and chip them out. This standing one catches people because they see the high, they think that the low is not coming. And then you need to use this move as much as possible. I cannot explain enough. Like, it's so good. Not only for the fact that it's a low that knocks down and it's safe. Wait, is it safe? I might have just lied to you. Hold up. Eat. Oh, it is safe. Okay. It's basically safe. It's -7. There's not much that can punish it. You can do it at a decent distance. But the reason you want to be doing this move is because it looks similar to the overhead. I know it doesn't look like it, but if you look closely, there's a hammer made of ice going behind Sub-Zero, right? Hammer made of ice going behind Sub-Zero. Slightly different animation, but because he is using the ice weapon that appears out of nowhere, and it comes out pretty quick, it can be used to confuse people. So just to make this overhead a little bit more consistent, because it's not that great in terms of its frame data, it is reactable. So you can just have people reacting to your overhead, and it can be very frustrating. So you really only want to be using it in the corner or when you have bar to like kind of back it up, right? That being said, if you can back it up in the corner with bar, it will give you the most amount of damage for your combos, most bang for your buck. Right? Like, it'll give you pretty decent damage in the corner. I just don't think it's worth it to go for it unless you have the bar. And that's the cool thing about Sub-Zero. His combos really don't require any bar. Like, if you really wanted to, if you really wanted to make this combo like bar free, you could. Right? You can do 30% no bar. Yeah, so even without bar, you can get 42%. Like, he can save his bar up pretty quick, and because you have so many defensive abilities in the form of the ice slide, this little projectile blocker, and your regular ice, as well as the creeping ice, whatever it's called, this one, you have so many projectiles to kind of keep the enemy away and kind of spam out your special moves that you're always going to have bar. The only bar that's really manageable or really management heavy is Janet. So you really have to get used to closing out games without her, essentially. Like, you're going to use her to get them into the corner, and then after they're in the corner, you're probably not going to have Janet. if that happens, you can still get decent damage, of course. Like, he can still do 40% without Janet in the corner. It's pretty free. But Janet does open up the possibility of using the low in the corner to get the combo going. And she does significantly more damage than Sonya. So that's why we're using Janet here instead of Sonya. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, Sub-Zero is pretty good right now. I think he wasn't very fun without Janet. And now that Janet's in the game, I think Sub-Zero is a much better character. He's much more fun to play. He has much more consistent combos. Yeah, that's all I got on him. So have fun. Like, subscribe.